Well, good afternoon, Dunhamers, and welcome to another halftime interview with myself, Finlay Jack. Today I'm joined by someone who's currently on the sidelines at Palmerston, but it's midfield maestro Daniel Pybus. Thanks for joining me, Dan.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having us.
First things first, then, how's the injury, mate? Pulled your hamstring against Hearts.
Yeah, obviously I was devastated to do it. It was an unfortunate time to get injured. Obviously the team is going well, but the team's carried on without me, and they've been flying. So yeah, I'll keep watching from the sidelines, and let's hope they can keep winning. But in terms of the injury, it's getting better. It's not as bad as I thought, but it'll still be a good few weeks away from getting back.
Of course, you want to play, but you must be enjoying watching the team at the minute. It's some real nice stuff they're playing.
Definitely. I mean, I bought both the streams for the Inverness and Dundee game just to watch them, and to win both the games was brilliant. And obviously we're top four at the minute, so it's great to watch, and it's great to be part of obviously this team this year who's doing really well.
So I just want to go back to the start of your career. You started off at Sunderland. Were you a Sunderland fan when you grew up?
The majority of my family are Newcastle. That's where I'm from, Newcastle. And then I'm watching it another time by Sunderland. So my dad's a big Sunderland fan. He was a season ticket holder, so that was brilliant for him. And then came up through Sunderland, so I ended up supporting them because obviously I was playing for them at the time. And
you ever get a chance to train with the first team at Sunderland, or were you always kind of youth level?
No, I mean I must have trained with the first team 10 plus times. When I was a youth team player, I was captain of the youth team, and really, really going well, scoring goals, which I can't seem to do at Queen of the South, but I need. But yeah, surprisingly enough, I was scoring quite a few back then. So I got a few chances training with the first team, but obviously when the team's in the Premiership, it's near enough impossible for a young man to get in the first team. But yeah, great experience to play for a club like Sunderland in the academy, and obviously the facilities and the upbringing is brilliant, and it sets you in good stead for your career afterwards.
Yeah. And then you got to move to Bradford, and you got your first experience of first team football in League One, I think, was it? How was that?
Yeah, that was a bit crazy to say the least. Got my debut. I would have signed February, first day in February. I terminated my deal with Sunderland, signed in February. Was there till the end of the season. Last game of the season, played, and then obviously Bradford win the playoffs. I wasn't involved in any of them games, just in the squads. They got beaten in the playoff final by Millwall, but it was a great experience to obviously be involved. Going to Wembley, seeing everything, 90,000 fans there, it was great to be involved. And then the season after was when I really got a few chances. And I remember being 3-0 up against Walsall away. Manager says, "You're coming on." I come on literally as they score 3-1. The game finished 3-3. I got the biggest shock of my life. It was away at the time. The tempo was rapid. Everyone was so physical. I was only 19 at the time, and that really made me walk away from that game thinking, Jesus, I'm going to have to do something here.
Was that central midfield you were as a youngster as well?
Yeah. I've always played centre midfield. I've always liked the role I've been playing since Christmas, getting forward, but getting back as well, using my energy, getting up and down the pitch. That's my favourite role, getting in the box, getting back. So yeah, that's where I've played throughout.
I mean, it's probably not the best memory coming on at 3-1 and drawn 3-3, but it must have been a good learning curve for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even just to see some of the senior players after the game, like how they reacted and that, it was scary, I tell you that. So it made me grow up fast being in that environment, but I think it's set us in good stead.
And then, well, yeah, it says online you went to Blythe Spartans for 4 days.
So Bradford, and I knew the manager at Blythe, and he just asked if I'd do him a favour, if I'd come be involved for one of the games on the Saturday on literally a 1-game contract. So, all right, I'll come play, no problem. So I literally played, and then obviously I left and went straight to Norway.
Where did that move come from? Because it's quite a strange move going from Blythe Spartans to Tonsberg in Norway.
Yeah, it was more just an experience thing. I needed games. I was at Bradford for a year and a half. I didn't play as many as I wanted, especially after I left Sunderland, and I needed games. So there was an opportunity to go over to Norway. Yeah, it wasn't the best standard ever. I'll hold my hands up and admit, but again, it got me out of my comfort zone. Went over to Norway, and the culture and the experience was very different to here. The tempo of football compared to the Scottish Championship is the total opposite. So when I came back to Norway and came to Queens, again, I got the shock of my life the first couple of games. But I think I've adapted over time to it now and I'm used to it.
How did that move come about from Tonsberg to Queen of the South? Did you know the manager or something beforehand?
I didn't know anyone. Obviously, I'd never played in Scotland before, but the man who was representing me at the time, Nick McCreary, great guy. His dad played with Sandy, I think it was at Heart. So just asked if I could come up and come on trial for a week. So came up here and I was fit, I was healthy. I'd had a bad injury after the Tonsberg, so I missed about 7-8 months of football. I tore one of my groins, which was unfortunate, but it was on one of them 3G pitches over there. So came back, got myself fit, done all the rehab myself, and then just came into Queen of the South in pre-season and just impressed the manager, I think, and just went from there.
It obviously worked out because the first, I guess, 4 or 5 months of that season were really, really good. How did you find that playing week in, week out at a good level? And the team that was winning, because I think by the end of the year, I think we were 5th in the league, looking all right.
Yeah, I remember the 27th of December it was, Ayr away.
Yeah.
Beat them 2. I think we were 5th in the league, but I think we were about 2 or 3 points off 3rd, and we had 2 games in hand on everyone. So, I mean, the first 4 or 5 months of the season, that probably as a fan, you'd say Queens were going well. And especially playing in the team, I remember I felt going into every game. I remember going to Dundee away and we beat them 2-1. I remember going into that game and I was saying to my mates, I was saying, we'll beat Dundee on Saturday. So confidence was flying. And then we won't talk about from Christmas onwards. But
well, we're going to have to, I'm afraid. But how much do you think losing Robin McCrory, Darren Brownlee and Fazil El Baktui can attribute to that downturn in form? Because that's 3 really key players in that first half of the season.
Yeah, you sort of look at that and you could say it was a bit like the spine of the team. Because the first 4 or 5 months, Fazil was brilliant, Robbie was brilliant, and Daz was brilliant. So to lose 1 would have been a loss. But to lose 3, obviously, it was a massive loss, and you sort of feel for the manager in that a bit, because obviously he's got to rebuild halfway through a season when he's had a good first half of the season. But at the same time, obviously, the club made some money from them, so it was a good opportunity for the club, and the lads obviously wanted to go as well. But being part of the team and losing 3 main players, it was hard. You've got to adapt. Manager brought some players in. For whatever reasons. I think we had a few injuries as well at the time, though. I think Dobbs was injured. So everyone just had to sort of shuffle around, and we just got in a bit of a rut where we couldn't win, we couldn't score, we were gifting teams goals, and it's hard to get out of a situation like that. So I think, yeah, we did struggle from Christmas onwards, which was disappointing, but you wonder if everyone had stayed, where would we have finished? Because like they going into the new year, we were flying, yeah.
How tough was last year for you? Because I think Queens, as a team, they struggled in 2020. I think 2 league wins. How tough was that as a young player in the middle of the park, kind of trying to stay confident? Because it must be hard when you're not getting the results.
Yeah. Obviously, when I signed, I was absolutely buzzing. Then I was fortunate enough to play virtually every game last year. So from Christmas onwards, it was hard. But you don't look at it and think like we're struggling. You're still looking at each game, thinking, "Come on, we can win this game," because everyone knows the championship. Everyone can beat everyone. You look at it that way. But I'd say definitely coming in this pre-season, I thought that we had a good team. I definitely thought it was probably better than last year. A lot of young faces in, fit, energetic lads, with obviously a mix of experience still. But I think it shows that the first 9 games, sometimes you need a bit of time to gel and mix together. And with only 3 lads being here from last year, obviously it was hard for players to know how each other play. They haven't played together before. You sort of need to know what's Dan good at, what, say, Rhys McCabe good at, and you learn that over time. So I think definitely the season being cut short by 9 games probably is worse for us, because you look and think if there was 36 games now, we'd have a real good chance of pushing on up the table, which we still do now. But I just think an extra 9 games would benefit us more than a lot of other teams. So yeah, it was definitely hard, but you look at how we're getting on now and we're flying. So something's obviously working.
How are you enjoying?
That must be why.
How are you enjoying playing with McCabe, McKee, and McGrory? And there's a lot of talent around. There's a lot of competition as well, though. But that must be something you thrive under.
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, Reece and Joe, very good technically, great lads as well. I think that's the main thing, not just with them two, but the whole team, the whole squad this year. The off the field is brilliant. Everyone gets on, everyone likes each other. The banter's always great. So it's a great group of lads, and I think that's starting to show on the pitch. But like you say, obviously Joe, Reece, and there's Calvin, there's Nort. There's a good few bodies in there in midfield, and yeah, there's competition this year. So you've got to make sure you're training well. You've got to make sure you're performing on Saturdays, and I think the fans are definitely seeing that at the minute. Like, you've got lads who are really hanging on for the places now and really want to perform. Obviously, Reece is back now. Joe will be back soon. So it's only going to benefit Queens in the long run. You've got these players available, and especially off the bench now, I think the whole squad in general is looking very, very healthy.
So you said there the first 9 games how tough it was. I think we were about 4 points. What changed? Because we went from the Dundee game where we were pretty poor, really. We gifted Dundee goals, and then Wraith, it was almost like a different team. You know, it was a really good fighting performance. What changed in that time?
I obviously missed the first 2 games, but I watched them both, and I thought team probably didn't deserve to lose, and Wraith could have probably finished 9-9 on the day. But even playing in the games, we only picked up 4 points, but it wasn't through not playing well. I think it was through just not defending well. I think we'll give anyone a good game on our day, but I think since Christmas, we've really tightened up at the back. I think that was the problem the first 9 games. We were just gifting teams head starts. We sort of had to score 3 in a game to maybe even get a draw, which for any team in the world is not ideal. So I don't think it was through like teams were better than us. I think it was just through defensively we weren't good enough, but that was to do with us players. The manager and the assistant can't control me giving away a penalty away to Dunfermline, or man not staying with their man in a corner. So that was through the lads. And I just think since Christmas, everyone's really, I think the bond's got a bit stronger in the team, and everyone's really came together, and everything matters now, and everyone wants to do well, and we can see top 4, and everyone's confident as well. That's the main thing. So I just think everything's knitted together well over time, and the performances are coming now. But like you say, the first 9 games, they weren't good enough, and I think the fans probably thought the worst. But me being in the league last year, I knew that we had a better team this year than last year, so I was always confident. But it was just a matter of getting this run together. But I don't think anyone saw this run together, like this run one now coming together. But long may it continue.
The second Wraith game we won 2-0 away from home. What was the feeling like in the changing room before that game when we found out obviously Jack Layfield is injured and you've got to put Charlie Kelly in goals? What was, because we're already on a bad run, and I guess the last thing you want to do is put a 16-year-old under pressure in one of the toughest positions. What was the kind of thoughts going around the dressing room before that?
Yeah, I mean, going into the game, a few of the lads were really, really confident that we'd go there and win for whatever reason. Obviously, we weren't in the best form going into it. But then Jack got injured in the warm-up, and it was obviously a bit like everyone was a bit gutted for Jack more than anything. But then that brings the opportunity for Charlie to go make a name for himself and to go have a good game. I think the lads realised that we need to defend well, and I think that's what started it, probably good defending, that we need to protect the goal better. We need to be tighter all around the pitch and start to hit teams on the counter-attack. So I just think the performance all round, probably a bit of luck as well. Obviously on the night they probably could have scored a couple, but the luck was with us that night, and I think the luck's been with us ever since. Touch wood, that continues. But yeah, I just think everyone tightened up defensively, and I think watching the game you can really tell that as well. You can see that happened. So I think that was the main reason. But Charlie had a great game, so fair play to the lad.
How are you enjoying this new kind of, well, you said you put it at youth level, the number 10 role in behind the striker? I think everyone at Queen's seems to think you're an all-action box to box, but deployed it a little bit forwards, you can press from the front. Is that something you really enjoy?
I mean, I've always been a very fit lad, always been energetic. So I'd say I'm a more unique number 10. I'm not one of these Harry James Madison number 10s. I'll win the ball back up high for the team. I'll press people, but I'll also get back and be an extra midfielder in there, because I've definitely got the legs to break forward and help Connor. So yeah, I really enjoy it, and obviously I know I need to add more goals to my game, which I think if I'd probably played here for the last 18 months, I probably would have. I think I need a new pair of shooting boots as well. come back because these ones have been shocking. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I'm absolutely gutted that I got injured at the time I did, because team was playing well, and I was really enjoying playing in the position I was playing.
Well, I mean, I guess it says a lot about the squad and the strength and depth we've got, that you lose someone like yourself who's probably a regular starter, but the team can continue on with Calvin McGrory and Naughty coming into your position. And
100%. But you've got to credit those lads, because I mean, Calvin's been sat on the sidelines a bit this season. He's obviously had a little bad injury when he got in the team. So fair play to Calvin going in there and showing what he can do. He's a really good young player. Now he's getting the chance to show the fans what he can do, and he's impressing. So listen, I've just got to sit back and get fit, but as well, I want the team to do well, and I want everyone to perform to the best and show everyone how good they are. So Calvin, Naughty have been absolutely brilliant since I've gone in there, with Io as well. So yeah, long may it continue.
And what's the team aim for this season, do you think? Because we always kind of say it's top four, but then with a bad start, we're now fourth. Is it just to try and maintain that position and push on? Because the league's so tight between second and bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very tight, but listen, we came into pre-season and the manager said he wanted top four. And looking at the squad in pre-season, I think we've got a bit of everything in the squad. And then it comes to January and you sign some more good loan players. I think the aim's got to be top four. For me personally, it would be top four if I was playing. And for all the lads, it's top four. The coaching staff, it's top four. And you sort of look at it and say, why can't we get it? We've played everyone this last 9 games. Well, the last game's tomorrow of this round. And nobody's been better than us. I mean, you look at Hearts, we gave them a right good game. You look at Dundee away, we scored 3 against them. So why can't we go beat teams like that? We were against Alloa, that was a silly result. I mean, the game could have been done by half time. And same with the Arbroath game, dropped points there. But apart from those games, we've been brilliant. So top four's got to be the aim. And I think the positivity around the whole club at the minute with the fans, with the players, is brilliant. And I think the longer that continues, the better the club will be in the long term. And I think the better performances will be on the pitch as well.
There's one loan player I want to ask you about specifically, and it's Isaiah Jones. He's came in, he's hit the ground running. How fast is he in training? Because we only see him in games and he's absolutely rapid.
Well, I'm living with him, and he doesn't beat me at the shower every morning, so he can't be as fast. But he's absolutely rapid. It'd be an interesting one to see him and Connor give each other a race. But yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant since he came in. I mean, off the top of my head, he got goal the first game, assist against Hearts, Inverness, I don't think he did, and then 2 assists against Dundee. So I mean, there's 4 goal contributions in 4 games. So I mean, what more can you ask for from a lone player who comes in January? Not always easy coming in January. New style of play, come from 23s to Scotland. But yeah, he's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And finally, on to yourself. What does the future hold for yourself in the game?
Obviously, I'm not sure right now, but I just want to get myself back fit and just try and play some minutes from now at the end of the season. Then obviously summer will come and we'll just see from there.
Super. Cheers, John. Thanks very much.
No problem. Thank you.